Now the topic was how to calculate positive cash flow on the rental properties. But while I was talking to you about this, I thought about something that I see happen all the time. It's a very big mistake, and you don't want to make this mistake. So I'm going to throw this in as a bonus. When you're buying a rental property that already has a tenant in it, never close on that deal until you have documentation as to how that person is in that house. Because if you buy that property, you have to live by whatever the seller's documents say. And you may not like what it says. What if that person is in the house and it says in their documents that you have the right to occupy this house for $100 a month until you die? It's kind of a life estate clause. And then you buy the property, you're going to have to honor that contract. And that would not be good. The worst case scenarios are when you buy a house that has a tenant in it and there is no documentation. And then he tells you, well, the owner verbally gave me the house. I've been living here for 15 years. He said if I made my payments for 10 years that he'd give me the house. I made my payments for 10 years. I'm in the house. You don't have any documentation saying anything because you didn't get any. And now you've got a war on your hands, a legal war to possess a house that you spent a lot of money to buy. This is not how you should start out an investment. So I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, please do not buy any rental property if you cannot get your hands on a piece of paper or some documents that describe how the occupant is in that house. It is a deal killer for me if they cannot produce documents. Now, there's one solution. If there's no documents today, before I close on that house, the owner and I have to draw up a set of documents that we have to get the occupant to sign. And if he will sign the documents stating what the relationship's going to be like, then I will go ahead and buy the property as long as there's some documents signed. But that's the only way I know to solve it. A lot of times owners are trying to sell the house to me because they have no documentation of why the guy's in there. And this guy's not getting out and they're in a war and he's thinking, well, the easiest way to get out of this war is to sell the house to Mitch. Now, if I'm dumb enough to buy that house without any documents describing how that occupant's in that house, then this man's won. He has transferred his problem to me, and that's not good for me. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little tidbit, that little bonus there. It didn't have anything to do with calculating cash flow, but it had a lot to do with not getting into trouble when you're thinking about buying a rent house that has an occupant.